Remain behind the chains and rail!
Get behind the rail!
Remain behind the chains and rail!
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier stands under the vigilant watch of America's most decorated soldiers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yet the lives of these exceptional guards have for long remained an enigma. This includes their daily routines, protocols, and even how they handle overly curious tourists. Do they have to sit there and cop it, or do they fight back? Let's find out. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is among the most heavily guarded sites globally, initially patrolled by civilians from 1925 to deter family gatherings near its precincts. The military assumed this duty in 1926, but only in 1937 was an unceasing, alternating guard system established. Since that time, the tomb's protection has been unwavering, day and night, every day of the week. This constant watch persisted undeterred, even amidst events like the September 11th attacks, the wrath of Hurricane Isabel, and a 1944 earthquake registering 5.9 on the Richter scale. While it's termed the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, it actually shelters the remains of more than a single warrior. At a point, it was the final resting place for 4 soldiers, representing major U.S.-involved military conflicts. So, who were these unnamed heroes? Tragically, they met their fate in war zones. In the thick of battle, it's not always feasible to retrieve every fallen comrade. As a result, sometimes it's weeks, months, or even years before these lost souls are unearthed. Astonishingly, even today, remains of World War I soldiers sporadically surface across the vast terrains of France. In those early times, the sophistication of DNA profiling was non-existent. Consequently, many found their eternal rest in graves labeled simply as unknown. Will they shoot? When sentinels first began their watch, they were equipped with the renowned Springfield M1903 bolt-action rifle from World War I. Over time, this changed. The M1903 was superseded by the M1 Garand and eventually the M14 rifle. While a ceremonial stock remains a fixture on these firearms, the 20-round magazine is typically absent during a sentinel's watch. Does this mean the rifles are mere ceremonial props? Word has it that each rifle might have a single round chambered, ready if needed, and if things take a drastic turn, the tomb sergeant is always at the ready with a fully loaded sidearm. Should you ever question their authority, bear in mind, they have full clearance to defend the tomb against anyone who breaches its sanctity. So even if there's a shred of doubt about the rifle's readiness, challenging these sentinels would be a grave error.
Remain behind the chains and rail! Behind the chains and rail!
Never disrespect a tomb guard. Visitors to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier are reminded of the sanctity and significance of the site. They're expected to maintain decorum by staying within the designated viewing areas and to stand in silence throughout specific ceremonies. Should someone venture too close to the tomb or cause a disturbance, the sentinel has the authority to halt the proceedings and issue a firm verbal warning.
It is requested that everyone maintain an atmosphere of silence and respect at all times.
Persistent disruptions or an outright breach of the tomb's boundaries can escalate the situation. In such cases, the tomb guard is not only authorized but also duty-bound to use lethal force if necessary.
Get behind the rail!
Disruptive behaviors include laughing or speaking loudly during solemn moments, crossing the chain barriers, or displaying inappropriate conduct. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier serves as a poignant reminder that respect is paramount, ensuring even the most unobservant or inattentive visitors understand its gravity.
It is requested that all visitors remain behind the chains and rails. It is requested that all visitors remain behind the chains and rails at all times.
How much money do they make? It's a question that often arises. How are these esteemed guardians compensated for their unwavering dedication? The truth is, soldiers of the old guard receive pay consistent with other service members of equivalent rank and tenure. Moreover, they are compensated for exceptional expenses and are provided additional dress uniforms. Notably, the sentinels at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier wear no rank insignia, ensuring they will never outrank the interred unknown soldier, irrespective of the soldier's original rank. While data indicates an average annual salary hovering around $43,800 for this esteemed position, it's essential to remember that for these guardians, it isn't about the monetary compensation. The chance to guard the Tomb of the Unknowns is perceived as a solemn honor. Each sentinel serves out a profound sense of duty, pride, and reverence. Their presence signifies a genuine, heartfelt commitment. Special number 21. In military tradition, the number 21 holds profound significance, and for the tomb's guards, its prominence is particularly evident. During their ceremonial duty, the walking of the mat, sentinels meticulously take 21 steps, then halt, facing the tomb for a precisely counted 21 seconds. Shifting their weapon to the opposite shoulder and turning towards the mat's length, they stand still for another 21-second interlude. Following this, they resume their 21-step march. This ritualistic pattern continues in a loop until the time arrives for the guard change ceremony. The choice of 21 is not arbitrary. Recognized as the pinnacle of military honors, the 21-gun salute is traditionally rendered to high-ranking military officials, heads of state, and royalty. Adding to the significance of this number, it's noteworthy that the inaugural unknown soldier was interred on the 11th of November, 1921. The remains of the unidentified American soldier were retrieved from a French burial ground and brought back to the U.S. Their final resting place is beneath a grand three-tiered marble edifice. The Tomb Guard Training. Aspiring to be a sentinel demands unwavering motivation, discipline, and a pronounced military demeanor. The initial step is applying via the Sergeant of the Old Guard. Successful applicants then embark on a rigorous 2-week training. This training, spread over 6 to 12 months, encompasses 5 challenging tests focusing on ceremony execution, uniform perfection, and vast knowledge retention. By its conclusion, trainees must execute 7 distinct ceremonies to perfection, adhere to the Apex uniform standards, and flawlessly recite 35 pages of information. Any lapse results in them being redirected to their original company. Those few who prevail are honored with the Tomb Guard Identification Badge and are henceforth known as Tomb Guards or badge holders by their peers. This honor is so rare that since the 1950s, only around 700 TGIBs have been awarded, averaging just about 10 annually. Guard living quarters. The esteemed guards of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier have several lodging options post their shifts. Most typically reside in the neighboring barracks situated at Fort Myer. However, for those entrusted with 24-hour duties, they have access to covert quarters located beneath the tomb's amphitheater steps. Beyond resting, this space also serves as a hub for training and studying. A sentinel's day kicks off at 5 a.m., with them reaching Tomb Quarters 1. They meticulously inspect the quarters, ready their uniforms, go over orders, and understand their assignments for the upcoming day. By 6:30 a.m., the Tomb Guards evaluate the trainee's preparedness and appearance. If a trainee is deemed satisfactory, they might get the honor of partaking in the initial morning guard change, referred to as the bolo, at 7 a.m. The day culminates with the evening bolo, marking the day's final change and walk. This stretch between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., which is open to the public, sees the guards engage in multiple ceremonies including walking the mat, changing of the guard, and various wreath-laying ceremonies. Elite status of the Tomb Guards. Portraying the Old Guard is akin to representing a ceremonial elite force. Though their duties might appear monotonous on the surface, they embody the finest that the Army showcases. And a mere 20% of all hopefuls are selected for training, and an even smaller fraction ascends to become Tomb Guards. Tomb Guards versus Royal Guards. Both sets of guards come from long traditions of honor and duty. But who takes the cake when it comes to toughness? Well, the Tomb Guards exude an air of solemn, unwavering commitment to honoring the fallen. Meanwhile, the King's Guards emanate power, standing as unyielding symbols of a monarchy steeped in history and prestige. Both groups are tough as nails, embodying the highest levels of discipline and dedication in their respective nations. Whether it's the silent, precise drill of the Tomb Guard or the stately, imposing presence of a King's Guard, both are sure to command your respect and admiration. While both guards perform duty bound to honor and protect, the air of mystery and tales of unyielding discipline surrounding them make both the Tomb Guards and the King's Guards equally captivating. Their untold tales, passed down through history, still grab the attention and respect of those lucky enough to see their quiet bravery in action. So next time you find yourself gazing at their unwavering stances, remember, there's a lot more going on than what you see on the surface. What do you think of the Guards? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to stay clocked in, and we'll see you soon.